Abaco selling our people's property. Don't know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always say, where you find it, donkey? Ride it. Who's the donkey? Huh? Come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand, but I can fix this. I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our everybody sells some every day. Giddy up, giddy up. Come on. Oh, no. Let's go. Who's the donkey again? They're selling one island. Give away one key. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling
Whoa, girls, we out doing
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It is always such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for spending your Sundays with us. You know what to do when you get on here, and that is share, share, share. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you do your part, that you do your civic duty to get this message out there. Use your at highlights, use your at followers, and tag persons in here. We're going to continue this conversation today. We're going to continue to have this conversation about Vision 2030. And this is going to be a very interesting one. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a pretty interesting week. We've had the politicians say, the PLP and FNM talking bad about each other, telling each other that, they are inept, they're incapable, they're inefficient, they're corrupt, and everything else. And we've always been telling you they are right. And so if you believe anything they say, believe them when they say that both of those parties are not what this country needs. So the PLP is telling you the FNM is not what this country needs. They are right. The FNM is telling you that the PLP is not what this country needs. They are right. And so what this country needs is change. We need something different to happen in this country. And that's what is about to happen. We are going to have a new generation of leaders. And that means a new people with a new type of mindset who are going to come and take this over. So we're going to have a lot of participation. You're going to get to meet some more of our candidates today. And we're going to be talking about some issues. Today, of course, we're talking about the elderly, our vision for the elderly. We're also going to talk about agriculture and culture. And so we have several candidates that I will introduce to you one by one once we get back. But first, before we do that, we're going to have our weekly address. This week is going to be live, our weekly address by our capable Madam Chairman, who is going to just come and give you some updates about what is happening, what's going on, and it's just an update from our party chairman about what's happening with the party. And so, welcome, Madam Chairman. It's so good to have you here to join us on this. Thank you for joining us. And of course, you can take it away, and I'll be back.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon, our members and our supporters. Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, March 16th, 2025. And I am Charlotte Gray, National Chairman for the Coalition of Independents. So, Bahamians, this week has been extraordinary. We have had multiple multiple passings of persons that were a part of the organization, family members who have lost loved ones. I would like to send a special condolences out to Chanel Pender. Chanel Pender is our Secretary General. She just buried her father-in-law today. Also, Mr. Clare. Mr. Clare lost his mother-in-law 2 weeks ago. They recently buried his mother-in-law yesterday. So we just want to keep them in prayers. I am very thankful for our outreach association. When these things happen, they tend to visit or make phone calls. And this makes people feel that they are a part of something. It makes them feel that, we care, and we do care. So this is why our outreach association is extremely important. So persons, if you are interested, members, if you are interested in being a part of the outreach program, you can dial 577-4158. 577-4158. We visit the sick. We make hospital visit. Our capable and well-able chaplain, national chaplain, they make house calls and they pray for people who need comforting. So I just want to say thank you to our outreach association and all of the people that are part of it and doing an exceptional job. Now, while we remain in the campaign phase, our ongoing efforts have increased our visibility and voter engagement. So I just want to take this time to let persons know, our members, supporters, and even persons who are not members and supporters who are listening to this live. It is extremely important that you register to vote. Your vote matters. We have a lot of persons that have a lot of things that they are saying about what is going on in the country. But at the same time, these very same persons said they are not voting, they are not interested. You're talking, but at this moment, your voice doesn't matter because you choose not to register to vote or you choose not to vote. Sometimes these are the people who have the most to say, but your voice will really matter if you register to vote. Register to change the direction of your country. Now, I know that many of us, including myself, we were waiting for those shirts. I want all of you to know that there has been an unfortunate delay in the delivery of those Coalition of Independence shirts. Now, I know persons saw those beautiful designs that were going around, but unfortunately, at this moment, we will have those shirts. But unfortunately, at this moment, we encountered small minor problems with our vendor, but we are diligently working on getting those shirts. Diligently working on getting those shirts here in the country. So to all of those that are currently waiting on shirts, please be patient with us. Once those shirts come in, we will let you know, because I have been receiving a lot of phone calls. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this upcoming March 24th, the COI Women's Association will be going through its second election. We have been around pretty long, haven't we? So we'll be going through our second election. And it's going to be more than just an election. All of our women in the organization are going to get together. And we're going to have a major discussion on the direction our country is going in. There's a theme that will be governed by this election. Women move together ships. So we are going to have our special speakers in the house. So we're asking all of our women that are part of the organization, if you have not received your invitation, please contact 577-4158. It is going to be an awesome evening. This is going to take place Monday, March 24th, 2025 at 7 p.m. The information is out on the social media platform. It's going to take place Monday, March 24th, 7 p.m. at the Carmichael constituency headquarters. Now, I know we've been seeing all types of things floating around in the media concerning our country's economy. My fellow Bahamians, the only way that we can change things and turn things around, like I said from the beginning, is if we vote. I know that a lot of persons are tired based on what has been taking place for the past 51 years. I know that we are tired, but we have to give it one more shot. We have to give it one more shot. There is an alternative. An alternative has been presented, and right now our country is on fire. And the only way that we can bring some type of solution to our country is if we vote differently. We have been doing the same thing for 51 years. 51 years. Remember, for every problem, there is a solution. We can get it done. All we need to do is unite in love and in service to each other. We can get this done. I would like to encourage our members who are members of this organization. I would like to encourage you to pay your dues. Pay your dues. Reach out to the national treasurer and pay your dues. You can either pay it online by visiting the Coalition of Independence website, www.coalitionofindependence.com, or you can either come into the Pinewood headquarters or visit the Carmichael headquarters. So either which way, we are encouraging you to please pay your membership dues. Of course, this is an organization, and with all organization, finances is very important. Remember, the Coalition of Independence is that Bahamian flagship. And in order for us to do things, we need all of our supporters, all of our members to chip in. It's a grassroots movement, and we need your help. We need your support. Also, for those of you who do not know, because I get phone calls every now and again, where is the candidate for this constituency? Where is the candidate for that constituency? Keep in mind, some of these constituencies, well, the majority of our constituencies are very big. Our candidates and their team are on the ground. Just stay watchful, because who knows, they will be knocking on your door shortly. But our candidates are on the ground. I guarantee you that they are working aggressively. We were on the ground since the last election, and we have not ceased. We are on the ground, and we are sharing the information of change. We are sharing our plan for the country. And my fellow Bahamians, I just want to drop something in your spirit before I conclude. While we are in the campaign season, I want you to open up your ears and your hearts to the message, to the truth, to the message. Whenever, even if it's the Coalition of Independence, the vision and plan we have for this country is what we campaign on. We have placed our vision, we have written it on paper, we have placed it on the website. Our vision comes from capable Bahamians, talented country, and who is going to contribution of the new Bahamas. When we campaign, we share that vision of hope. We share that vision of opportunities, not for some Bahamians, not for just the PLP, the FNM, or COI. We share this vision to all Bahamians, and it is for all Bahamians to benefit, regardless of your political affiliation, your religious belief. It doesn't matter. As long as you are a Bahamian citizen of this country, this vision belongs to you. This vision belongs to you. So, my fellow Bahamian, when we show up at your door, when any political party show up your door, the question you should ask them is, what are you going to do for my children's children's children? We need generational plans in this country to move our generation, our country forward. Generational plan is what is going to move this country forward. Plans that are going to make us a success and not just borrowers to the world. It's about time that the Bahamian people now become the lender. So my fellow Bahamians, continue to pay attention to the social media platforms. We have subgroups. Now, I know that there are some new persons joining in, and there are certain groups that they want to be a part of. We have the educational platform. We have different types of groups. So if there's a particular type of group that you would like to be a part of, reach out again to 577-4158. There are also associations and committees that you can be a part of. Reach out to 577-4158. My fellow Bahamians, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you again next week, and continue to pay attention to the social platforms, the Coalition of Independence page, the Bahamian Evolution page, and the website. Our leader is still putting out updating the social media platform with all of the information regarding Vision 2030. We will also continue sharing those vision on the Coalition of Independence pages, as well as the National Chairman page. So if you do not have access to those pages, we will drop those links inside this live today. But thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. And let's get into the new Bahamas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Green, for your weekly update. We appreciate you. Good job. And we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started. Of course, you know what we're doing for this period. We're going to be talking about Vision 2023 and introducing you to more and more of our candidates. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to introduce you to three more of our candidates, and we're going to talk about three separate topics. Before we get to those topics, I'm going to introduce you just briefly to these candidates that that uh, that have been ratified for the Bahamian people. All right, the first candidate that I'm going to introduce to you, um, he is a contractor, and he is taking on the constituency of Marco City. We're trying to get rid of Brent Simonette's puppet. We know him as Michael Pintard, and we can't afford for Brent Simonette to take over this country. And so we're sending someone there with the courage to go and take him on. And so, knowing that a lot of money is going to come in from Brent Simonette to secure this constituency, there may be people who are afraid to take that constituency on. But Mr. Howard Roberts has decided that he has had enough in this country from people like Michael Pintard and the FNM and people like the Progressive Party, and he decided to put himself forward in order to bring the change that we need to see. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Harold Roberts for Marco City. Mr. Roberts, welcome. Welcome to the live.
Welcome, and thank you for having me, sir. It's good to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So we just want to welcome you here. You can say some brief opening remarks to your constituents of Marco City.
Yes, Grand Bahama, of course, you know our design in this coalition of independence to free you from the economic enslavement that have been put on Grand Bahama. You also know that this party is the party of change and choice. And please, go and vote. Go and register to vote. I can go further, Mr. Ben.
Okay, I was having a little problems hearing you just now, so I'm just gonna continue. It was not your fault; it's on my end. We tried to reduce the sound in the studio so we wouldn't get any feedback. But all right, welcome, and we're gonna continue introducing the other ones, and then we'll still get started. All right. Next, I'm gonna introduce to you a young lady who is very well known in Abaco, who has been fighting for Abaco for a very long time. She is an entrepreneur with businesses in Abaco, and she is known for standing up um, for the people. And so I'm going to introduce to you Miss Crystal Williams. Miss Williams, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Bain.
Awesome. I'm just going to let you give some brief remarks to your constituents.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Crystal Williams, and I am the ratified candidate for COI for Central and South Abaco. I became politically inclined, I would like to say, within the year of 2017, when trying to help Darren Field secure that seat in the North. However, Abaco would have gone through a very devastating storm in 2019, and I got to see people that I read, family members, alongside of. I saw all of these people being displaced. Again, when this election rolled around in 2021, and the PLP won, Abaco just continued to get one slap on the face. It was as if we were turning our cheek to laugh. And that just continued. So I made up my mind. Person said that I was an activist. I didn't think of it as activism. I just saw it as people are hurt, and when you're hurt, you need help. And I decided that I would just pinpoint all of the things that were going wrong, because No one else was taking the initiative to do it. And so I just want to encourage the people of Abaco in its entirety that for the amount of money that we put into the treasury, the fact that we get so very little back, it is a crying shame. Our airport sits in shambles. Our port of entries are still in shambles. But yet we have persons clapping and cheering and standing up and stating that they need an opportunity to just derail us again or keep us from having progress. And I just want to say to the people of Abaco that the time for change is now. We know what we want. We've seen the way forward, and I feel as if COI is the way to go to make that a reality, to make that possible. And the only way it's going to be possible is if you give Kai Mills, who is sitting in the north, and Crystal Williams, who will be sitting in the south, an opportunity along with COI to govern this country in a different direction.
All right, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you and the efforts that you're making and the sacrifice. It takes a lot to do this. The last candidate I'm going to introduce to all of you is very well known in the cultural industry. They they are, she has decorated this country for many years. A lot of the events that have taken place, she's been behind it. A lot of the things that you've seen and loved in terms of decorating. Even on Russell Square, etc. She's been responsible for. She's also a Junkanoo legend. That's an actual status in the country. She is a Bella, a female Bella, and she is well known in the Junkanoo community. And so she is joining us on this live. She is from Mount Moriah, and she is Miss Linda Stubbs.
Good.
Miss Stubbs, welcome to the
Thank
broadcast.
you. I'm happy to be here, and good afternoon, Mount Moriah. I am just excited for the opportunity to represent the area that I currently live in. I've been a resident of Mount Moriah for over 30 years, and I'm very passionate about this opportunity that I have to represent Mount Moriah, to be the first female to represent the constituency of Mount Moriah, and then the first resident member of parliament for Mount Moriah. So that's a lot of firsts. I look forward to bringing mature leadership as I canvass the area of Mount Moriah. The salient complaint that I get is that, we don't see our member of parliament. We saw him maybe before the general elections, and we don't see them anymore. Well, I'm here to say to you, Mount Moriah, that's not going to be my legacy. I am here to work with you, to work for you, and to bring about all of the change that we desire to see in Mount Moriah. Now, you may not know, Mount Moriah consists of three areas that is sort of parallel. You have Stapleton Gardens in the west, Millennium Gardens at the center, and we have Yellow Elder Gardens in the east, up to Blue Hill Road. That is what we are working with currently. Now, I don't know, after the boundaries would have probably been gerrymandered, what we will look like, but I am happy to say that we have met quite a few of the constituents here. We still have a little bit more work to do, so if we haven't seen you yet, just stay tuned. We would be there soon to see you. We have a lot of ideas we have coming up, and let me just tell you by way of advertisement that last Easter, we did an Easter egg hunt on the Stapleton Gardens Park. That was phenomenal. In fact, the residents said that we made history. It was really the largest egg hunt that they have ever seen in the area. Well, we're going to be even bigger. And I'm also happy to welcome Crystalline Skippings. I think she's chief superintendent of the police. She's now in charge of our district for the police. So we look forward to working with her. We look forward to working with all of the leaders in our communities, especially those in the crime watch. We have Jewett Smith. He's here in Stapleton with us. And I don't recall the name of the other persons. I don't think I've ever met them as yet, but we look forward to working with these community leaders in Mount Moriah. And so we'll be sending out our brochure soon on our major Easter egg hunt. And can I tell you, we're adding a new feature. This year, we're going to be doing a tea party for the elderly. We want them on the park to watch the children run, play, and search for their eggs and have a great time. And of course, you know, our egg hunt, you didn't have to hunt, you had to jump. So the eggs were hanging from trees, and we think we're going to do that again because they had great fun. I'll keep you posted, Mount Moriah, but just know you have the best person to represent you. And if you don't believe me, ask any of the former prime ministers of this country of my service to this country on a national level and the level of professionalism that in which I executed my work. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome and excellent vision, Ms. Stubbs. We are very proud of you and what you have been doing. There's someone on here who asked, when are you guys going to start campaigning? We just want all members to know that we've been campaigning for some time now. I think Ms. Stubbs has been campaigning for probably 8 months now.
I'm going into my 9th month.
One of them.
Yes.
So you're going into your 9th month. And so we have been campaigning. We've been on the ground. We never stopped since election. There's some people who are just waiting to get ratified, but we've been campaigning all over this country. We've been knocking door to door. And so we're looking forward to continuing what we've been doing to take this country back. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get right to it. We want to talk about 3 different areas. We're going to talk today about one, the elderly first, our vision for the elderly. Then we're going to touch on agriculture, our vision for agriculture, and then we're going to talk about culture. And we have to do several of them in one day. I know each of these need their own 2-3 hour session to get through properly, but we're getting you started. You can go to the website and read up on what you want and then add your contributions. But we're doing this so live. You can come and question us and call us if you don't understand something. This is for you to be able to contribute in this way also, as well as you can go on the internet. This is the first vision that, in fact, this is the only vision that any political parties put forward. But in terms of their manifesto, they never let you contribute. And so we're making sure that the Bahamian people can contribute to what it is that we're doing. Okay, and so we're gonna get this started, and we're looking forward to your contribution. And these persons are going to introduce the topic. We're going to talk about it for a sec, and then we're going to move on to the next one, and then we're going to let you call in and give your contributions while we continue to talk about these specific topics. All right, so I'm going to introduce the first topic to you, and that's the elderly. We created a vision for the elderly. We're the first political party to do so, and that's because we feel that there's not enough that our elderly get. We don't fall by the wayside. Sometimes your family aren't enough to really take care of you, but we're going to make sure that our elderly live in dignity and are well taken care of. And so I'm going to give you this introductory video, and then we're going to turn it over to Mr. Harold Roberts to briefly outline some of the highlights in our vision for the elderly.
Exposing the hardships our elders face. It's time for a change. For dignity and respect. We owe them dignity, security, and respect. Tonight, the Coalition of Independence introduces the vision for the elderly, ensuring economic security, compassionate care, and true respect for our senior citizens. Together, we honor those who paved our way.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Harold Roberts, who's going to give you some of the highlights in our vision for the elderly. And of course, as with everything, ladies and gentlemen, you're able to go to our website. You're able to go to our website and you're able to go to any of these areas and read. I'm sharing to you our website now. You're seeing on the screen. And you can just go here and search these different areas: education, tourism, energy, and all the ones that are on here now. The last one we uploaded was the Sovereign Wealth Fund. That's the big one. We want you to go and read that. That has a lot of pages, but go and read it. We're showing you how we're going to get this done. But right here, we have the vision for the elderly, and this vision is to empower our elderly, the true pearls of the Bahamas. And again, it is a booklet that you can go and read. And this one is only 16 pages. So you can go and read our vision for the elderly and you can contribute to it so that when we present the final vision, that you can, your ideas will be included. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Harold Roberts. Take it away, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity to participate with the people of the Bahamas in the gaining of knowledge of what we intend to do. In fact, I would like to change that word intend, what we will do.
Yes.
Okay. The first thing I will introduce with the elderly is economic security and independence. And under that, we intend to double pension from day one. I had a little conversation with a lady the other day, and she made it very clear that her pension as is, because of the increases in prices, it can't work. So the idea of doubling it or probably tripling it if possible will most certainly help that lady, because her income is constant and everything else is rising. Immediate pension increases, of course, from the first month in office, and we will double the pension payment for all elderly citizens. There will be no discrimination. All elderly. FNMPLPCOI, the works, ensuring that our seniors have the financial stability to lead dignified lives. And apparently today, money happens to be one of those things that gives you dignity. Of course, cost of living adjustments will be involved in that activity. Why? Because inflation is upon us and rising. So we have to make sure adjustments are there. Financial abuse legislation will be put in place. Why? Too many people supposed to be helping the elderly, but then when we find out that they are actually abusing them by taking their monies and doing whatever they want to do with it. And we can't have that. Truly can't have that. We also need to look at, we are also looking at accessible service and mobility. Elderly persons needs to get around, but when they get around, you know, they need to secure parking spots and reserve areas for them. Like the disability persons, they have this little spot for them, so shall the elderly. We will also look at areas such as grocery shopping and bill paying services. You know, some elderly cannot get around as they once could have. So to have grocery shopping delivered and bill paying online done will be a plus for the elderly. Very good plus for the elderly. Transportation services, we are offering I am saying to you that we are unique in our ways. If you have been listening to me, these are services that have never been done before. They are very original. So if somebody comes to you and tell you, oh, somebody else have done it, that is not true. Okay? Looking also at innovative housing and healthcare facilities. This area is so important that persons who are abandoned about on the streets. In Grand Bahama, we have a number of bus stops with the bus shelter, and they are home to other persons, literally homes. We need to house those persons. There are persons who have said to me, Robert, I have my home, but I need simply to have it renovated or upgraded. Yes. But here is the description of the home service that we will be giving. Construct a series of elegant 3-story beachfront homes designed specifically for the needs of the elderly. Now, tell the government when you repeat that statement, talk back. Because they have 51 years to do this and show that they love, respect, and care for the elderly. We're looking at community space, gardens and recreational areas, communal lodge to foster social interaction. We do not want to put the elderly away where, okay, they're in a nice place, but they're all by themselves. No, we want that social interaction to continue. And this is important, that we show a sense of balance, okay? On site, we're dealing with integrated healthcare and wellness facilities. Now, understand this. On site, emergency and recovery room, on site, I said, attached to each housing complex. A state-of-the-art emergency recovery room on site will be available to address immediate health concern. Many persons, they die on the way to the hospital. This project requires that facilities of such be on site. I can't emphasize that anymore. Intensive care unit, on site. Physiotherapy and rehabilitation center, on site. A fully equipped physiotherapy center will offer personalized rehabilitation programs, wellness classes. Now that's important. I don't want to have that just glance over. Wellness classes obviously will conclude exercises and, of course, good eating habits. Okay? We have to consider also fitness regime tailored to improve mobility. Many elderly tend to believe that they have to sit down in one place. Why? We have to have them understand the more they move, the better for them. Okay? So we have to maintain balance and overall health. This is important. We also have telemedicine services. The doctor may not be there at the time and there's an issue. Well, we have that service. You call them and you get the issue resolved. That's a very important point, that an educated, well-technological elderly, which we will train them to become. We will show them how to use that technology to their advantage. We're going to take the time, we're going to show patience, and we're going to teach and help. That's the COI vision. Volunteer mentorship programs. Now, let me take some time back with this one, because this one's so much important. Intergenerational initiatives. Listen to this now. Create mentorship programs where seniors can share their experience and wisdom with younger generations, fostering aspects and mutual learning. Could you imagine? They're not going to be alone. They're going to be involved in the community as well through community volunteer networks. They're not going to be thrown in one room and considered left alone and abandoned. No, they're going to be involved in this community and participating in this community to organize community volunteer groups, all right, to assist the elderly with elderly activities. They're going to be very active, ensuring they remain integrated and supported with their neighborhoods. That's important. Although you have the opportunity to participate and live in the most elegant of places, don't forget where you come from, interact with your family, interact with your friends, that you will keep that strength going. Technological empowerment, that is that empowerment that I spoke of, where the elderly will be taught. Launching this initiative to train the elderly in digital skills. It's very important, helping them navigate online banking, telemedicine, social media, and other essential digital services. Today's society, you cannot get along unless you are empowered with such services. So it's important to access technology, subsidize access to computers, tablets, internet services for seniors, ensuring they remain connected with family. I love this plan because it always bring you back to family. You see, and that's the strength of the elderly. They're always thinking about their family, friends, and essential services provided. Family and friends, safety, and monitoring innovation. This one is so important, even I am impressed. Smart homes solutions. Invest in smart home technologies that include fall detention emergency call system. Now check this out. I intentionally slow that down for you because I need you to get that. And remote monitoring to ensure the safety and well-being of seniors living independently. Now, those ones that may be living independently, we intend to monitor them. We intend to not leave them alone. Make sure their detection centers, their emergency and call system, they're in remote areas are looked after nonetheless. Okay? And these are those areas that are very important for us to take a look at. We're going to be dealing with data privacy protection. Develop robust data protection measures to safeguard personal information as seniors increase interact with digital services. Nobody's going to be able to get inside their information. We got to put the senior information in places where it can be safeguarded. That is just a touch of what we're dealing with. But for now, thank you so very much, especially Marco City. Marco City, I want you to remember this day that we have shifted into a new range for getting all the information for the COI, the Coalition of Independence. We show appreciation.
Okay, I'll stop you there so we can continue with the conversation.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to bring in our other candidates. You can jump in however you wish. You just heard of a vision, some of the ideas for the elderly. We have been contributing to the website, and we're gonna add some things coming moving forward. But how do you feel about what you heard about paying attention to the elderly and looking out for their best interests. How do you feel about that?
Well, Mr. Roberts, I would like to say, whoever, you all were in my head for Mount Moriah. This is so awesome. I truly believe that pensions, Mr. Roberts, and to the general public, I believe that pensions should be $1,000 a month. The reason is, once the elderly persons would have sent relatives or even go themselves to the food store, most people are getting what, 250, 300, I'm not sure. I guess it varies, depends on the contributions you would have made. But a minimum of $1,000 is what I feel that the elderly should be receiving. And we don't have that many elderly. Mr. Bain, you can help me with those statistics. I'm not sure what those numbers look like. I particularly love the parking area. So much consideration has gone into this, and just showing love to these people. It's so unfortunate that many elderly persons are neglected. These are people who would have made tremendous sacrifices
Yes.
for their families down through the years. And when they are unable to do anymore, they neglect them. They just want to put them in a senior citizens home, or they just literally leave them on the wayside. It's so sad. And I applaud the COI for such tremendous vision by way of, covering all these areas with the bill paying and the health care and the housing. Now, I have a question. In terms of housing, is this going to be like nationwide? What's the vision as far as that's concerned? Or we're just
With yes,
Mhm.
there's actual living centers that's going to be
Yeah.
built on different family islands so that we can have our elderly living out their years on beachfront property where they can just go and walk on the beach, and they can have all of their facilities they need in one complex where they can also live. But you don't have to worry about an ambulance coming for them, etc., because you're going to have medical services right there at that facility to make sure that they get the best care that they need. But also, we're going to have monitoring programs. Once persons let us know that there's an elderly who lives alone, we're going to have the government come in and pitch in and make sure that they have certain things to make sure that their life is as comfortable as we can make it.
That is so awesome. So much love coming out of the COI. And I certainly hope that Bahamians, every single individual that would hear this vision, would understand that this has never existed before, and understand that the COI's objective is focusing on the people of the Bahamas, not on buildings and roads and cutting down trees. We are coming to care and show love to Bahamians and those who are here legally.
I'd like to answer.
Amen. Let's go with Crystal Williams.
So I'm just going to add a quick input in there. On my walkabout yesterday, I ran into a lady that said that she has 5 kids and went to social services for emergency help. And she got a call back last week. And that call back was so that she couldn't get any help. And that saddened me because, number one, I am a single parent as well, an only parent, because my daughter would have lost her father. And looking at the fact that my daughter gets, it's $148 now, but it used to be, I think, $120 something dollars. And in all honesty, that is her pocket money. But if we had to say that she had to live off of that, it would have been near to impossible. So what I'm
Wow.
seeing COI roll out for our elderly and for citizens in its entirety, I love the plan.
Awesome. Great. And so just want people to know that, yes, immediately when we come in, we're going to be raising the pensions. We know how we're going to do it, and that's what's going to be done. But of course, by the next year, once we start rolling out benefits, the pension is going to be negligible. That's going to be pocket money compared to Bahamians benefiting from their natural resources, carbon credits, etc. And so, but we need immediate relief for our elderly. And so our natural resources money, et cetera, is going to go into building facilities for our elderly so that by 2030, these things are covered with a proper timeline and we can make sure that our elderly are taken care of. All right. So again, you can go to any of you can go to our website, read our vision for the elderly, and you can contribute to it there too and put your input. All right. So thank you all for that. we're gonna we're gonna move on to the next topic, and then after we finish all three of these topics, we're gonna open the phone lines. But we're gonna move on to the next topic, which of course is food security. We call it agriculture, but this is a national security issue. If you're not able to feed yourself, you're in some serious problems as a country. And right now, we're in a situation where our country is unable to feed itself, and anything that happens can put us in problems. But not just that, anything that could happen, disasters, etc., could put us in problems. We're in problems now because we are importing foods from overseas that are not healthy food that is killing our Bahamian people that some countries wouldn't even accept. The countries where it's coming from is saying it's for export only. You can't feed that to our people, send that to some other people. And this alone is something that should be concerning us. And so I'm going to do the introduction, and then I'm going to introduce Ms. Williams, who's going to take us into this.
The Bahamas, once a thriving farming nation, rich with potential and proud in self-sufficiency, but today, corruption has drained life from our fields. Past politicians, driven by greed and beholden to powerful oligarchs, deliberately dismantled our agriculture industry. They chose profit from imports over the prosperity of our farmers, stealing our nation's independence and leaving us dangerously reliant on foreign food. For decades, these oligarchs have amassed billions while local farmers were silenced, marginalized, and blocked at every turn. But today, we say no more. The Coalition of Independence stands ready with a bold vision. A vision to restore our nation's farming heritage, empower our people, and reclaim our right to feed ourselves. Tonight, we lay out our transformative plan to revive agriculture, to root out corruption, and to build a resilient Bahamas, one farm, one field, one community at a time. Together, we will restore the Bahamas to its rightful glory as a self-sustaining, proud farming nation.
No volume.
Tyler. I can't hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry my mic was off. I introduce to you Ms. Crystal Williams, who's going to deal with this issue, which is a major issue in our country. And of course, she's going to introduce the highlights of our plan for food security. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Good evening. So, Mr. Bain, growing up here on the island of Abaco, which happens to be the sailing capital of the entire world, which means that we are a busy fishing. And that is basically how all persons got around in Abaco. However, I have watched the farm in Treasure Key close down because they stated that we had cannabis, and they grew some of the best citrus around. I'm talking about oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, you name it, it was grown there on that farm. As well as Abaco used to have what we call sugar farms, where they grew the sugar cane. And looking back now and looking ahead at the future, the only thing that I'm seeing happen is Bahamians are being thrown back into time, because if you can't feed yourself, then when the rest of the world just shuts down, what happens to us? And so when you look at the local farmers, they're unable to go to the bank and get any type of secure any type of loan, because number one, they're only leasing the land. And the plan that I see the COI has to actually give grants, that grant will allow them to buy machinery. So when people think of farming, they think of only just growing the product itself, but it's a robust economy. Whereas, for instance, if you have no wastage, if you're growing cabbages, you're growing tomatoes, onions, sweet peppers, and whatever you don't sell, you're able to bottle or can. I feel as if that would help the Bahamas to be able to export items out of the country, just as Jamaica does, just as America does, just as other nations do. But I've watched the agriculture and fisheries community be stagnant, whereas it should be something robust, and it helps our people to climb to a higher level. You have persons here on Abaco right now that are on a small scale doing the hydroponics or the aquaponics, and I realize that those are the different areas where COI is now stating that they will give grants up to $500,000 for these farmers to be able to make investments. Also, Abaco has one of the best chicken farms in the entire Bahamas here in Abaco, the Abaco Big Bird. And that is one of the only chickens that I actually purchase, because I know that they're not giving it any steroids. I know that they're taking their time with everything that they're doing at the facility. And when the product comes to market, I feel as if it's safe. It's not something that is marked only for export. So I do know that we're on a short time segment right now. I won't take up a lot of your time.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much for that. I think this is one of the most important topics that we could talk about. People are worried about crime, et cetera, et cetera. But more people are dying because of our food, the food that we're eating, than from murder. More people are affected by the food we're eating than by crime, and a lot of people don't realize it. We have about 2,500 people that die every single year in this country. About 100 of them go to murder. A lot of them are because of the food we eat, and we don't seem to have much of a choice. Cancer is rampant right now, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and it is because of the food that we're getting, especially cancer. No one is paying attention to it, and so we want to go into to farming, and we want to focus on organic farming, because one of the reasons we want to do that is because America, their number one industry is farming. They provide agriculture around the world. That's their number one industry. A lot of people don't realize that. And of course, they may see us as competition as we just go into our 700 islands to help feed the world too. But we can go into a niche market, which is organic farming, which is something they don't focus on. They focus on factory farming. And so we can go into organic farming, and we can have food not just to feed ourselves, but to feed the rest of the world. And this food will be definitely a niche market. I always tell people, if we brand food from paradise, it's like Fiji water. Fiji water, that just sounds like water from paradise. It just sounds better than every other water. So you can charge more for it, even though it's not necessarily better than any other water. But food from paradise, it's clean, pristine paradise, just sounds better. And organic food from here, it makes sense. And so we think that that is going to sell to the rest of the world, and we're going to invest in that heavily. Not just so we can have healthy food for ourselves, but that we can now have this as another a source that can go into our sovereign wealth fund and pay back to our people. A big part of our sovereign wealth fund is the businesses that our country is going to go into to make money from to go into the fund that's going to go back to every individual, not just the natural resources, not just the carbon credit, but also the businesses that we're going to go into. And so food security is one of them. And so we're going to be able to grow healthy food and feed the rest of the world. And that is very important for what we're doing. Let's hear from Miss Linda Stubbs and from Miss Howard Roberts. Linda, take it away.
Crystal, I was born in Gregory County, Luther, and I recall as a young girl growing up, we went to the Hatchet Bay Plantation. There at the Hatchet Bay Plantation, you would think it was something fancy, but it was really simple. But they were raising the chickens. We got fresh eggs. We got ice cream. Everything was produced there. And all of a sudden it disappeared. The other area on Gladstone Road, there used to be a poultry farm there as well. And that has disappeared. So I don't know if this was intentional by the successive governments, but everything we did to feed ourselves was taken away. And these things are done so subtly. I don't know if Bahamians really paid attention to it and understood the far-reaching effects, because here it is now. We couldn't find eggs in this country. We got some eggs from wherever, and they weren't good. I mean, I've heard complaints. So I'm excited to see the COI taking this step to make sure that we can feed ourselves. There are a lot of people that are doing their own backyard farming and gardening. You and I spoke about that before this program started. And I said to you, I'm an avid gardener, but I have flowers, right? But we would like to encourage Bahamians to start planting and buying fruit trees. Stop buying flowers, buy fruit trees, and use those to decorate. As simple as cocoa plums. I mean, I go to the airport, pay a parking ticket to pick cocoa plums off of those hedges. I absolutely love it. And these are things I grew up on. And every time I think about the black pigeon plums and the things we harvested as children, climbing the sapodilla tree, the mango tree, the guava tree, I often say I attribute, apart from God, I attribute my good health to eating organic as a child. We could go out and pick fruit everywhere. And I said to my team in Mount Moriah, I'm so happy the government is cleaning up all this property for us, because, when I arrive, we plant fruit trees everywhere so that people won't have to be hungry. You can actually go and pick fruit if you don't have money, but we won't have any starving Bahamians.
Amen. Amen.
Believe it or not, tomatoes are priced in the store $3.75
Wow.
here in Mexico. And that is very startling to me, because growing up, I can't speak for people that live in the city, but living on the island, codfish, lobster, vegetables, and fruits and vegetables, I never paid
Wow.
for. You went to your neighbor, they had sweet potato, they gave you sweet
Right.
potatoes. Someone would give you cassava, somebody would give you Eddie, bananas. You'd go down the street, you could get some, you say, give them a couple of them shorties, and they would do that. Now, with the lack of, what you're seeing now is people are a lot meaner now. Everything, you are no longer brothers, because the cost of life has gotten so expensive.
Let me make this point, if I may. It is sad to know that we are unable to feed ourselves, given the fact that we came from a generation that used to feed not only ourselves, but also fed the United States of America. The boat used to come in, and of course, Abaco was one of those persons, or one of those islands that was a part of that program. Andras and others, Eleuthera, that the ship came in and they carry out the best of items from the Bahamas. Now we are buying cancerous and diabetic items from the same place. This is startling in terms of the thinking. Unhealthy food. So healthy food used to be grown and sent out from here. Now unhealthy food is coming in as a matter of taxation through something called duty. And that's supposed to be an excuse of some sort, with, of course, another tax on it. However, but what we must also consider is that chicken farming in Abaco, or that chicken growing in Abaco, that's such an important thing. But I don't see that chicken in Grand Bahama. We need to get that chicken to come to be sold in Grand Bahama again, because the high rate of cancer. In fact, Grand Bahama is the cancer capital of the Bahamas. Okay. Last count, 50% of all cancer is from Grand Bahama. And we need to have some food to make sure the people are able to survive. This is why I started a farming program. In fact, I turned my whole yard into an agricultural center. The whole yard, from you start, the yard, there's coconut trees, there's soursop, there's whatever. I put it there to make sure I get some good stuff with nutrition, because I don't trust the label coming from elsewhere. You must also consider, and Mr. Lincoln Bain said it, this organic farming, but we must consider first the fact that our food lacks nutrition. You see, we tell our children to eat. That tastes good, eh? And we base food on taste good. No, it must be based on nutrition. Farming is taking away every day. I so love when Ms. Williams made the point that farming used to be here. But I think both of you made that point. I'm there, and every place else. But now it's like it doesn't even exist. We have to reestablish it. COI, that's another job that we have to do. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Harold, believe it or not, my great-great-grandfather would have owned a live fishing vessel, and he took fresh conch and fresh to Nassau. And on his way back to Abaco, he would load the boat down with dry goods and everything in Abaco. You notice every community is like so close to the water. He would stop into every community and he would offload goods. And how he was paid, people would actually barter with him who didn't have cash, and they would actually give him land. So my family's generation ended up with a lot of land because they exchanged land for food parcels. And looking at the way that Abaco has changed over the years and seeing how we're going back in time, and we're not able to basically, if the food store does not receive its shipment for 1 week, the shelves are empty.
Wow.
And that says something.
Wow.
And my grandma said to me that, and I understand it now as an adult, whoever runs the port runs the land. And our government doesn't own our ports or run our ports. They actually give these things out to other persons. And that is why it is so important for us as Bahamians to understand that these things need to be Bahamian owned and Bahamian controlled.
That's awesome. And so I also want to make it clear that one of the things that we're actually gonna push is, it's more along with our health plan, but bush medicine. But we're also going to be farming these so-called bush medicine. And so we're going to have farms. Right now, you can get bush medicine, but you don't really have a place you can actually go to get your 5-finger, to get your aloe if that's what you want, or to get any of the things that you want. You will pass a tree and see some cerasee on it, but nothing is packaged for you and made easily accessible. So this is something that we want to do because we're going to be studying these bush medicines so we can actually see the scientific benefits from it. But also we're going to be farming these so that we can put these in the food store. If you need your aloe, here's your aloe sleeves, here's your cerasee, here's your this, here's your that. And in our farmers market, we need to make sure that these are readily and easily available to the Bahamian people, and it's packaged in such a way so that they know the benefits and what these things can be used for, that all of this is digitized. So you don't just say cerasee good for everything. No. This is what you need to take fever grass for if you're experiencing such and such. This is what you take garlic for if you're experiencing such and such. And so we need to codify this to help with our people, and we think that's going to spread to the rest of the world. And so just before we go on to the last topic, which is culture, because people already started calling in, before we go to the last topic, I just want you to know that the reason agriculture has been killed in this country is because of the greedy oligarchs in the FNM and PLP who make money importing food. And because they import food, if they're making money importing eggs, why would they let you sell eggs? All right, they're going to make sure that they just flim-flam and promise you, but they never really get anywhere when it comes to something simple as eggs. They don't want you to dairy. I mean, as simple as milking cows. Like, how could we not have dairy farms in the Bahamas with all this land that we have? We have no shortage of land. And so we should be milking our own cows and we should be producing dairy right here in the Bahamas. It's ridiculous that they won't let you have dairy farms, and they used to have them out there where West Winds is. There was a dairy farm there. There were dairy farms all over New Providence and other islands. But now they kill them so that they can make the money importing them. And so this is where the problem is. So now you're importing these milk, etc., that has hormones, and at one point they said the milk had pus in it because of what they were feeding the cows, etc. So you were literally drinking pus when they did all that. They had all that excess milk and said milk does the body good. But what they were doing was they was using a process to make the cows produce more milk, and it was causing the cows to also put pus, etc., in the milk, and they marketed it to sell it, and it was doing your body bad. And this is the kind of things we need to avoid. And so we're going to bring that back home. All right. So I'm going to go to the next and the final topic for today. And also, this is an important topic because before every nation rises, the first thing that they export is their culture. Before America rose, it started pushing out its culture. Before Rome rose, it pushed out its culture. Greece, same thing. They pushed out their culture. And that's the first thing a nation must do to rise. The Chinese, before they started to rise, the first thing they started to push out was their culture, their food, their movies, etc. All of us were hooked on the Chinese movies. And that's what they pushed out. Well, Bahamians have to get their culture to the rest of the world. And that's what the plan is. We have to get our culture to the rest of the world, and we will do that. And so I'm going to go straight into this. I'm going to go straight into to a lady because she is the biggest intro that we could have because she has more experience in this than any of us. Well, I'll play the intro just so you can hear it. I played a raw intro just so you can hear it because culture is something that we have to spread to the rest of the world.
Culture defines who we are. Yet for too long, we've watched leaders pour resources into carnival, neglecting our own rich heritage, Junkanoo. Our story, our music, our dance deserves center stage. Tonight, the Coalition of Independence reveals the vision for culture, investing heavily in Junkanoo, celebrating our identity, and inviting the world to experience our culture, not theirs. Together, let's proudly share who we truly are with the world.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a cultural icon, Miss Linda Stubbs. Take it away, Miss Stubbs.
Good evening again, everyone. And it is with a great deal of pride. You know, when I received my first cowbell, and it was literally a big fat cowbell. So, I'm not going to say any dates. Yeah, when I got that cowbell, I never dreamt that today I would be here in this position discussing culture. You see, it just goes to show that whatever the mind of a man conceives and believe that he can achieve it, it's his. All right. I got into culture and I committed myself. In fact, I was challenged, and I'm tempted to give dates, but back in the day when I entered Junkanoo as a Bella, I remember Percy Bowler Francis saying, "Oh, it's an omen. It's like an omen to have women in your Junkanoo group." Because Junkanoo was, except you were a dancer up at the front, it was really geared towards the male gender. All right. But I'm the kind of person, give me a challenge, and I'm gonna take you up on that challenge. And I will definitely prove you wrong or show you what I can do. So back in the day when I got the cowbells, listen, it was hard. The corns in your hands, I couldn't shake anybody's hands because you would think that I was
Construction
a
worker.
construction worker. The corns, and can I tell you, I told them in the shack, I don't cut my costume down. Whatever the guys are carrying, I'm carrying that. And so imagine going down Bay Street and you have wires sticking you in your back and your shoulders because something came loose in your costume. But because of that pride, you're going to continue down Bay Street, and then you look at your wounds when you arrive at the rest spot. And everybody's sympathizing. I just have to put that in there. But I paid my dues to be here today. Mr. Bain, thank you for identifying that. So, culture, the heartbeat of the Bahamas. And let me hasten to say, before Isaiah Taylor pulls me on the side and said, how you could have all this big talk about Junkanoo and leave us out. Now, Isaiah Taylor, for those who don't know, is the leader of Bahamen. And I want to also say that I'm saddened by not hearing Bahamen's name. Someone said to me, they're getting old. I said, yeah, but music doesn't get old. And I believe that they're very capable of representing this country. They got a Grammy Award for crying out loud, you know,
Yeah.
and they're not.
Their singers are younger than I am. Rick Carey and others, they're actually younger than I am, and I'm young. So they're
Can
not
you
getting old.
imagine?
Some of the musicians are older, but the singers are younger than
Yes,
I
and
am.
so you have them and many other groups that have been on the scene that paid their dues, and you're not hearing from them. I believe that, and I know that my leader supports me with regard to bringing all of these musicians and entertainers back on the scene. So, but we will provide
Yes.
opportunities for them to come on the scene. There will be opportunities for them to be performing downtown because we're going to convert that to foot traffic only. So therefore, it will become a big entertainment mecca. And when our tourists come off of the cruise ship and those that fly in, there downtown will be a buzz. There would always be a cultural experience. Now, Junkanoo, of course, it's the heart and soul of who we are as Bahamians. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and who her dad will say, "You want to watch Dora, or you want to watch some other little kids thing?" "No, Dada, I want to watch Young Canoe." And so, it's in the heart and soul of the people. Um, we are going to take Junkanoo to the world like it has never been before. Another thing I want to say, a lot of you would not have heard of this, but my portrait dawned the hollowed walls of the Smithsonian Museum for a couple of years. Because when they did the official opening for the Smithsonian, a contingent of Junkanooers went to Rush. And I didn't even know my portrait was in the Smithsonian. But yes, I was a Bella and the female. So of course, everyone was captivated by this one woman ringing these bells with all these men. And so that was a high point for me as well. The objectives now of our party for the development of cultural tourism, we want to create, we ain't just talking this, okay? You have a real junkanua who is going to be heading culture. And so this ain't no empty promises. All you have to do is elect a COI and you will see. No empty promises. We are going to make Junkanoo make money for us. A lot of people don't understand that no matter what has happened in the past, Junkanoo was never felt the love and the support of the government at the level that they should. We have given our lives, our resources. You know how many people could not buy gifts for their children because they had to buy tricks? They had to buy Junkanoo tricks. They had to buy feathers. And the wives and the children kind of understood, the wives would pick up the slack. But in my case, it was me and my kids, right? And I made sure use psychology on them. I got them all involved. So everybody in the house, in fact, there was a year when everyone in my household was rushing for a different group. So I had one family. I had the Valley. I was in the Valley at the time. I had the Saxons, and all in one group finishing up our costumes. So if we ate Rocher chocolates and nuts, that is what we did, and everybody was happy. Why? Because we were going to bathe. All right? Now, I want to say to you, what the COI will do in the first instance is we're going to increase that funding, that seed money, and you're not going to be receiving it at the last minute. We know the importance, and I will ensure that my leadership understands that this money need to be getting to the Junkanoo groups by March. Even if we don't give them the full amount, we give them half of the money in March, and then we wait until a little later on in the season to give them the balance. But the bottom line is, you will not have to be putting your hand in your pocket. I don't even want people in the back line to have to buy feathers and things like that for their costumes. All right? So we're going to ensure that Junkanoo is properly funded. Now, the one thing, Mr. Bain, we didn't talk about in great details, we talked about A and B categories, but you also have Junior Junkanoo. And Junior Junkanoo has gone to a completely different level. In fact, if you had seen Junior Junkanoo on Bay Street, it was as though you are there on Boxing Day or New Year's Day. I mean, book out with people. All right? So there's a whole lot of areas that we have to cover. A very important point I want to say to Junkanooers, and I want you to listen up carefully. We're going to need you to identify a shack. We're going to need you to identify a shack that we can come and totally renovate, assist you with that in renovating your shack, putting in bathrooms, putting in work tables and benches, putting in, helping you to create a museum in your shack, in one of your shacks, when the season is over, you display your costumes and you have guys in there pasting 365 days of the year. Industry, right off the top. Why? Because the cab drivers will be bringing tourists over the hill to experience how the costumes are produced. They pay a little entrance fee. They come in, they take pictures with your costumes. You have them set up like what do they call them? You know, you go in and you put your head in the costume. I forgot that name. But anyway, yes. So you get to do all of that. In addition to that, you are going to sell them your Junkanoo dolls and all of your, items that you can make for sale, little drums, little bells, and so on. We are going to create industry out of Junkanoo for the first time in the history of the Bahamas. I remember um, Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, who is a Junkanooer. We rang bells together in the Saxons, and he promised that he was going to totally take care of Over the Hill, make it beautiful, sort of gentrify it, if you please. But it didn't happen. And then after he was about to lose or had lost, he said, oh, next time we'll deal with the poor people. Well, no, your next time finished. There's no more opportunities. We are going to bring this to the people. Additionally, we know that Junkanoo lacked funding, and like I said, we're going to correct that. We have persons, and can I say, former leaders, former prime ministers who were responsible for bringing carnival in this country. Well, I want carnival to know your days are numbered. This country, our culture is Junkanoo. Our music is rake and scrape and all the rest of it. And I live for the day when I can go somewhere, because on a stage somewhere, we have rake and scrape. I love quadrille. I love seeing them dance the quadrille. I love seeing the maypole being plaited. All of these things that we would have done through the years have gone out of the window. Can you all remember Miss Lai, the Fergusons of Farm Road? You remember Pandora Gibson? She was from Hatchet Bay, Lutheran. She was the funniest person ever. They came on the radio, and we would be at our radios listening to hear, what skit or jokes that they were going to tell us. This doesn't exist anymore. We're going to bring that back. We're going to bring it back. And of course, it will affect the younger generation, and we're going to see what they have to offer. We want Junkanoo present at every event in this country. We want to empower Junkanoo entrepreneurs. There are those who have their private Junkanoo groups that they are perform for weddings, destination weddings, and things like that. We want to ensure that they are properly funded and they have the support. We're going to take culture from tourism and culture from the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, and we're going to merge it into one conglomerate. And we're going to manage everything culture in this country. The other thing I want to say, we're looking at making some changes to our parades. Now, we all know we go to Bay Street, and some of us try to go there early. You're there from 9 o'clock. And you ain't leaving there until 10, 11 o'clock, or maybe 12 the next day. Unacceptable. They've tried many things. But the new Junkanoo Commission that we will bring into place will be responsible, and we won't have the two bodies that we had. We're going to make one Junkanoo Commission. And as our leader always referenced, the Macy's parade and all the rest of it, you don't see any gaps in their parades. So I have not had the opportunity to speak with all of the Junkanoo leaders. And I can tell you now, Junkanooers are fickled. So you can't just give them anything. They want to know that they had a part in the plan. So we're just saying to you guys, all right, don't bite us. We're showing you a vision, and you will have the opportunity to participate in that vision and to bring your ideas and inject them to us. In fact, you can go online and you can begin to do that now. So imagine every Junkanoo group has to be on Bay Street at a set time. And you're not necessarily on Bay Street. You're on Bay Street from Elizabeth Avenue going east. So now you're all congregated there, but the mouth of the parade begins at Elizabeth Avenue. Listen, there's so much to cover with culture. I didn't even cover the week of activities. We will have not a Junkanoo parade, but a Junkanoo festival, and that will be held from December 25th till January 1st. And in this cultural festival that we're proposing for 1 week, pure economic opportunities for those that cook, those that will be participating, and we will take in all of Arawaki. We will be taking in the Adastra Gardens. We'll be taking in the fort. The entire festival will be held in these areas. And when you attend every night, there will be an aspect of Junkanoo, because why? What the carnival did, where you could purchase costumes and jump in the line and perform, you could do that during our cultural festival. Additionally, the big costume, that's the lead costumes and the step downs. These are the really big pieces. They're going to be prejudged and at a designated area. So you won't see them on Bay Street, okay? They will be prejudged and then displayed so that anyone can go up to them, take photos of them, etc. Then another night in that 7-day period, you will jump in the line, prejudging of costumes, and then when a lot of other events going on. But let me just get back to Bay Street. When you get to Bay Street, the only performance you would see, you would be the judging, you'll have the judging of your banner, judging of choreographed dances, judging of jumpers, judging of free dancers, judging of music, and judging of your presentation. Okay? That is what you would see on Bay Street. So already now you have your groups being able to move more fluidly because you don't have the big costumes and all that to hold up the parade. Now, as I said before, we are leaving out of the mouth of Elizabeth Avenue so that when that group crosses Rawson Square, and it's probably down somewhere by John Bull, the back line, down by John Bull, then the other group will be right there and ready to kick off. They roll over and they are gone. So there's no more gaps, and that goes on. And this will only happen with the A and B category groups. Now, those that the individual costume builders and stuff, you fit into that week of celebration. So your costumes will be judged outside of Bay Street, but in an area that is going to be fabulously decorated. Listen, I can't wait to get my hands back, as my leader said, he wants this country beautiful, not only at Christmas time, he wants it 365 days of the year. That will be another responsibility of mine, to beautify the country, and not just Nassau. We're talking about the country. Freeport, you're not left out. All of the family islands, you're going to be taken under consideration. Feel free to go online, ask your questions, call us, and give us your input. because I'm just, again, scraping the surface of this. I need a full 2 hours, okay? But that is about it for today. I will allow questions.
All right, and I just great job, great job. And I just want to add from there, I think we can reveal to them that we are looking into using East Bay Street, east of that's Bay Street, east of East Street, where all of
Yeah,
those dilapidated buildings, abandoned warehouse areas, and docks, etc. We want to use those to build Junkanoo museums there. Junkanoo Shacks, Junkanoo Museum is going to bring it to life. Easy access for the tourists on Bay Street and from the cruise ships to be able to go and have an adventure there. There's
yeah,
other things we're going to be doing there also, but there's a lot of property there that has not been used. A lot of taxes are owed,
for
etc., etc.
years.
I won't go into details, but we are going to take them over. There's already a boardwalk that has been built in the back there. So from how far is this boardwalk? Do you know where Green Pirates is in that area?
Yeah,
Just east of there, there's a boardwalk that goes from the marina there all the way back to East Street. You can actually walk the whole back ocean area. It's already built out
yeah,
all the way there. And so that's they're gonna access those Junction museums from the boardwalk. And so that's going to be something powerful to experience, along with Broadway type shows that they're going to be able to experience from that boardwalk, and et cetera, et cetera. And also a resort we're looking at building on that boardwalk. But that area is now dead, and we think that Junkanoo can bring that back to life. There's
yes,
also going to be Junkanoo every day on Bay Street. And so Bay Street is going to be closed down. We're going to transform it, beautify it with cobblestone. And so from George Street, that's almost to the Hilton, from George Street all the way to Rawson Square is going to be closed to vehicular traffic. You have to
correct.
drive around the Woodwaters Wharf or drive on Shirley Street to get around. But that's going to be closed to vehicular traffic. We're going to encourage restaurants, etc., with tables outside where people can get the real experience. We're going to encourage persons to be out there, like on Times Square, doing their skills, limbo dancing, wearing costumes for people, acrobatics, whatever it is that you do. Little children's choir out there singing for tips, etc., to bring this whole thing to life. It's crazy that we went all the way to Dubai and we mimicked singing in the streets. Remember, Clint Wanton and them was there with the choir singing in the streets, but people can't get that when they come to the Bahamas. And so
No,
we're gonna make sure that the Bay Street comes to life, even in the evening, to give the cruise ships another reason to stay overnight like they used to back in the day.
right.
And we're gonna through solar offer them cheap electricity, so it makes more sense for them to stay here. And with something for their people to do, they'll be willing to stay here. And so Bay Street is going to be close to vehicular traffic, and we're going to have Junkanoo. When you go to Disney World or you go to Universal at a certain scheduled time, they have parades. They have parades with Mickey and whoever else. At Universal, they have the superheroes, etc., that do their parades probably every hour, every couple of hours.
Hmm.
Our tourists have not been able to experience Junkanoo. They can't get tickets. Bahamians can't get tickets. So obviously the tourists can't get tickets unless they have some special hookup from some Bahamian. So we want them to be able to experience Junkanoo. And so they're going to be able to come here and experience Junkanoo parades, get in line in the streets with the Junkanoo parades and have fun and do their touristy stuff. And Bahamians can do it too. You know, we're going to be able to have fun because we are building a country for us to enjoy and for the tourists to come and enjoy what we enjoy. And
You
so
know,
we're going to build a
Mr.
country for
Bain,
us.
let
Yes.
me interject and ask you, because you really love talking about this Junkanoo route. Take that route from John Bull to how Junkanoo will end, please.
Okay, so just so you guys understand, right now to end all of the wait time, Junction is going to be linear now, and so it's going to start at Elizabeth Avenue. So at 1 a.m., you're going to start at Elizabeth Avenue. Everybody lines up. You know, you don't have one group go out and then send them off and then hope the other group can line up in time so they don't slow things. No, no, no. Everybody line up from Elizabeth Street far as the bridge if they have to. Everybody lines up. The first group goes out and they start and they hit Rawson Square, put on their performance, and they go straight down. And when they hit the hill, then the rest spot is the area of Marlborough Street. So the Hilton around where McDonald's is, and that whole curve around there, that's the rest spot. And so they line back up again right by the point, and they head straight down. We have to trim some trees, we'll have to, but they head straight down into Arawaki where the festival is going to be when they end. All right, and so that's what the route is. And so we're gonna make sure. Oh, we haven't opened the phone lines yet, but I see people calling. We'll get them in a second. All right. And so that's what the route is going to be. That's going to end all of the issues we have. It's just vision and solutions. All right. And so that's how it's going to be. And the festival is going to be going on every day, week long, with performances and everything else going on that Bahamians can have a whole 7 days of Christmas. So from Boxing Day to New Year's Day, they're going to be having Junkanoo celebrations every single day, all day. All right. And the seed money, just to be clear, I'm not sure if you said it expressly. They spent the first year $30 million on Junkanoo Carnival. $30 million on Carnival. All right, that was disgraceful and a waste of our money. And they're spending a couple $100,000 on the A groups for Junkanoo. That's ridiculous. And so what we're going to do is we're increasing that seed money to $300,000 for each A group, $100,000 for each B group. All right. And so still 300,000, that's only 2.4 million. That's nothing to invest in our culture. That's nothing. All right. And so why it isn't being done? They don't care about us. And so, if Junkanoo people, if you all care, we're going to make sure that happens. And we're going to review this amount to make sure that the cost of Junkanoo is covered by the government, because we're going to make that money back based on all the tourism and all the other economic activity. We're going to make that money right back. So that is seed money, not just for the Junkanoos to build costume. That's seed money to boost the economy. And so that's an investment for us. So we don't see any reason we shouldn't do that. So we just want to let the Junkanoos know, listen, man, if you want to go continue the way you've been going, you go with the PLP and FNL. But if you want now to try something different, it's time to do something different. And I know the two of y'all are jumping at the bits to get in here, so I'm going to let y'all talk. But at the same time, I'm going to open the phone line so that people can actually call in and contribute, because we had a long one today. You can call in. The lines are open, 803-5995. You can call via WhatsApp or regular line. That's 803-5995. Trying to get the number up there for you. 803-5995 is the phone numbers. So now you can call in. So all of you who've been calling in already, now is your time. So you can call in regular line or WhatsApp call. All right, Ms. Williams, you want to contribute?
I will say that I love that concept, and the reason I love it is because I'm very well traveled, but I've never been to Jamaica and encountered a Bahamian performing. Never been to Mexico and seen a Bahamian performing. So it disheartens me that when I go down on Bay Street, it's extremely dirty. You can smell the stench of pee, and it's as if it's just unkept. So, and as a child growing up, I remember down on Bay Street, you would hear people out there performing, Bahamians performing. We have some Bahamians that are so talented that people will actually take that time up and record them, and you see them all over the world, and that's just basically promotion, because they end up getting calls and people wanting them to come perform in their country, but we're losing our culture because for some strange reason, we like to mimic everybody else's when we have a culture that is next to no one. So I love the concept. I love the idea of bringing Junkanoo and just broadening the horizons for all.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's go to the phone lines. We have calls coming in at the same time. So we're going to take the first one first, because we can't take two at a time. Or the other person can try the regular line. Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hello,
Yes.
Charmaine Adawi here, candidate for Golden Gates.
Welcome, Charmaine.
Good afternoon, CY family.
Welcome.
I just want to say great job, everybody, presenting. I want to say thank God for the elderly finally going to be taken care of in this country. So looking forward to involving that in Golden Gates and ensuring we have one of the, I would say, one of the first over-the-hill communities for our middle class area, and definitely a lot of seniors in our community. And so we're looking forward. Golden Gates, you will not be forgotten in that aspect. Also, I want to talk about the food security. I believe that food security is literally national security. Definitely an important aspect. Grateful that the COI again has a vision for Golden Gates and for all the Bahamas actually to deal with securing food. We all remember how things were during 2020 when food was really definitely very scarce, and of late we've had an issue with something as simple as providing eggs for the country at reasonable prices. So that in of itself, look here, it's going to be amazing for us to resolve these issues that have been rampant for far too long. And then I want to finally say congrats to Lady Culture. Look here, I feel your passion. Definitely looking forward to the job. You know, I just got to tell you, Saxon's just running. That's all I'm saying. But hey,
I'm
I
excited.
believe that the Junkanoo really have been neglected again. I mean, come on, if we can spend all that money on Junkanoo Carnival, there is no reason, there's no excuse why Junkanoo cannot be the main attraction in the Bahamas as it should be. And so congratulations to all. Great hearing you, Mr. President and team. And let's hear Golden Gates, I salute you. And just know we coming, and we coming strong. Good night, Bahamas.
Awesome.
You
Thank you
know,
so
Mr.
much.
Bain, I just want to
Yes.
reiterate because I'm getting personal messages. Junkanoo is not all culture. Oh, goodness. We know. And guess what? We're just saying if we did not single you out in whatever it is that you would have done culturally, please reach out to us. Please go online. Please indicate what you would like to see in the aspect of culture that you participate in. I can only be so passionate about Junkanoo because I've only just done it most of my life. And I said to Mr. Bain from the beginning, look, hey, culture is me and I'm culture, eh? And so that was an easy decision for him to have made. Um, but please, by all means, reach out to us and let us know what it is that you do, what it is that you would like to see. I know some people are saying we want the banana boat concept back. We want that popular one that was in Oaksfield. Where is that popular nightclub that the Raphael
Cat
Money's
and Fiddle.
dad, the Cat and Fiddle, and the Drumbeat Club. All of these things have gone, they've
Hold the line.
disappeared, and Bahamians are not
Yeah,
engaged.
hold the
And it's
line.
enough that we have foreigners taking over the workplace in so many other aspects of our lives. Give us our culture and pay us
Yes.
for it. The other part, Mr.
Let's
Bain, that
go.
we didn't, the other
Just
thing
hold
we
the
didn't
line.
touch on was prize money. And so we're gonna talk about that at some point, because now that we're addressing the increase in seed money, the prize money for the first place in the A category is only $24,000. One great big slap in the face. So we got to look at that.
Yes. Yeah, and of course, culture is going to be expanded even more than this. I've grown up in entertainment my whole life, and so music has been my life. I've traveled all around the world. Been I'm an award winning musician and writer, and so I just want people to know that that's important to us to make sure that we build the music industry. Also, I've participated and wrote plays, etc. And so we're going to make sure that the PLP talked about it after hearing us talked about it, but we're going to make sure that our culture gets out there on Netflix and in other mediums. There are persons who can do plays where we're making careers for Bahamians who have talent. And so we're going to have a Broadway style situation going on daily. When you go to New York, you want to visit Broadway. And when you come to the Bahamas, you're going to want to visit East Bay. And so because we're going to have those shows and those stadiums set up so that we can have those shows where our culture can be on display 24/7, and persons can actually be professional in this, that is all they do, and they make money from the millions of tourists that comes here. And when you can become your profession, you can become perfect at it, because
Yeah.
you don't have, this is not a side thing, this is not a hobby that you do on the
Nope.
side after your long day at work. This
Right.
is what you do. And so
Yeah.
Bahamians are going to get better and better at this. Actors are going to come forward from this that could probably end up on Broadway and end up in Hollywood. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunities there, but we're going to outline all of this for persons very soon. But we're going to go back to the phone lines. Caller, you live. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Bean. How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening. Sidney Thompson, Junior here. Mr. Bean, it's a very good show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you know me. You know me very well.
Yes.
Mr. I spoke to Charlotte. I was trying to say is, Mr. Bean, a lot of tourist attractions. You realize, I know you see it, but look at all the pigeons, the conch shell and other things. The government and things, whenever you ping them, tourists can even stop there, and if they ping them up and let taxi cab drivers take a picture, that's our culture.
Mm-hmm.
All that need to be painted. Seek into that for me, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Notice, Mr. Bean, they never been painted. All they want you to do is go on the side of the road and rake grass or cut grass, Mr. Bean. You know me very well.
Yes.
I was the gentleman who came and went reboarding Sidney Thompson. You remember me?
Yes, thank you, man.
Very well. But seek into that for me, and I appreciate you. Keep up the good words.
Thank you, and God bless you.
My family, I support you. We got 6 votes around here.
Awesome.
And all for the COI. Continue with the good works. Anything I can do to help.
All right.
And continue. And tell Miss Stubbs, I'm from Eleuthera too, Savannah Sound. I know about that today and the rest of it.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my God! Sorry, my finger was near to the screen, and I accidentally touched it, and I hung up on you. So sorry about that. Yeah, and so I just want everyone to know that I am going to be in Grand Bahama tomorrow, and for a couple of days. And so if you want to see me, I'm going to spend some time at the office, and so just give me a call. And so I will be there. So persons who tell me, when you come to Grand Bahama, make sure I want to see you. Well, I'm going to be there, so just give me a call. Go ahead, caller, you live.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Crystal. Good afternoon, the mother of the guns, the Nicholas Peter. Good afternoon, Mr. Edwards. Mr. President, are you there?
Yes, go ahead.
Listen, I work downtown, and what I've seen downtown in our country, the amount of tourists that come to the country, they're not spending as they normally would.
Yeah.
We can brag about the many tourists that come to our country, and if you take a walk downtown, it's simple and disgrace what those people see. And the accidents, the falls that tourists fall down every day, coming across from the baker store, it's different if you come across from Toronto going west. When you cross in Frederick Street, if you're not pinned down, you want to trip in the middle of the road.
Yes.
I've seen persons falling their wheelchair on the ground, touching their face on the ground. I have those videos on my cell phone, videos on photos. And what's so nasty also is that there's no public bathroom downtown Nassau.
Wow.
No public bathroom. So even if you go to Pumpkin Square, there's no bathroom. You don't have bathrooms in Pumpkin Square, but the bathrooms are locked.
Wow.
Not years ago, they're being broken down. One gentleman said they're being broken down for the past 15 years. No one uses the bathroom. The bathrooms are locked. Pumpkin Square is just a dead place. On the ground floor. And stuff like that. And there's nothing for those persons to do in the midday. I can imagine Pompey Square just open up lively. We'd have live bands going on in Pompey Square where senior citizens from off those ships, they don't want to walk up and down and shop. They just want to feel the Bahamian experience. And our dancers out there and there girls your Prince and Nebula and Gap, really out there role play and prior dancing and stuff like that, Bahamian food, finger foods, just to meet the Bahamian senior citizens and those persons who was in the entertainment business back in the day. There's so much to do, so much things that you could be doing for the kids to really show them who we are. Because downtown Nassau, it's not Bahamas at all.
Yeah, thank you for your call, man.
It's gone.
Thank you. Whenever you travel the country, you're going there to experience what it is that the people there do and what is their culture. What our tourism has done was we've created a fake culture, a tourist culture, where tourists come here to do what we call touristy things. That's going to change. We're going to create a culture. We're going to expand our culture, and they're going to be able to come here and experience our culture. And that's what's going to happen. When we fix Bay Street, we're not fixing it for the tourists to stop them from falling down. We're fixing it so Bahamians can't fall down.
Exactly.
And by extension, the tourists are going to benefit. And so I'm not paving roads because Prince William coming here. I'm paving roads because Bahamians got to ride on them. And Bahamians should benefit. We got to change our thinking and our mindset. Before we go on, I just want to, the persons from the Ministry of Finance had a lot of concern, and they sent a document to me that they wanted me to pay attention to, because they see a lot of corruption going on. Next week, we're going to be talking about crime, immigration, and land. So make sure you all are here for that. Next week, Sunday, we're going to talk about crime, immigration, and land. All right? We're not playing when it comes to crime or immigration, and with Bahamians benefiting from their land. So that's the three topics that we're going to be talking about. But I want you first to see this document that persons from the Ministry of Finance, of course, the Minister of Finance is the Prime Minister, and persons here have some serious concerns about what's been going on there. And before we go anywhere, I want to, this person is who those staff members of the Ministry of Finance is talking to me about. They said his name is Mario, the butcher, and they're saying he's a butcher, but they saying that he was living in the States, but they brought him back to the Bahamas. He's an associate, former schoolmate of Simon Wilson, and they brought him in without, in their opinion, the proper qualifications to work at the ministry as a purchaser at the Ministry of Finance to purchase everything grocery and food supplies, etc., for the agency. And they put these stuff here. I can't, prove anything that they're saying. I'm just saying what they're alleging. But they sent me some documentation. They're saying he's being paid $85,000 per year. So that big consultant budget of $80+ million just for consultants. This is one of those persons who are benefiting from that. He has a housing allowance, they say. He has a car, gas, cell phone, etc. And he's allowed to travel home to Florida several times per year. He say he buys all the meat for the apprentices, etc., etc. They're saying that this is stuff that a Bahamian here in the Bahamas could have done, and they are concerned. They said his name is Mr. Mario E. Simmons. They sent this document here that shows where he was offered by the Ministry of Finance his consultancy position. And so this is a place to offer him consultant lead purchaser. They're saying all he was a butcher. He doesn't have the qualifications. That's their opinion. And they said his salary is fixed at $85,000. He has a housing allowance that initially was $1,500, which sounds like they're saying it ended up being $27,000 instead. The ministry, we expect them to confirm anything that is being alleged here or deny it, tell us if it's true or false. He gets a government issued vehicle. Let's hold the line one sec, caller. He gets a government issued vehicle, he gets a government cell phone, and he's getting 15% gratuity per year on that $85,000. So he's going to get 15% of that as his gratuity. And we have police officers who've never gotten their gratuity and other officers in this country. And I think it's shameful that these other people are getting gratuity with these alleged politically appointed jobs, while police officers, etc., still can't get their gratuity. And so 15% gratuity on this per year is $12,750 just gratuity. And so if this contract is, for example, for a 4-year term, let's say it's not the whole 5 year, let's say in the end this contract turns out to be 4 years, that's 12,750 times four, that's $51,000 just gratuity. Jesus. um, and so they say what he's hired to do, purchasing of groceries, etc. So he's been getting paid $85,000 more than MPs. See, purchaser for the procurement of groceries and other food items for the government and his agencies. Uh, Managing the inventory of groceries and other food items, overseeing the purchase of other supplies and materials, establishing cost parameters, etc., etc. So to buy food for government, that's how much this guy, according to this contract, is being paid. That's the contract. Now that's the agreement, and so this agreement is in Mario Edmund Simmons, Ministry of Finance, uh, lead consultant. It says 3 years here. It says 3 years. Ministry of Finance, 85,000 per annum. This is a contract. Um, According to the act, and here it is, agreement government by the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's the signature of him and the witness. All right. The witness is Anita. It looks like Burrows. Anita Burrows. All right. So let's keep going. And then this is the lease. He has a lease for where he's living. And so that's from May 4th, 2022. And so his lease is to Inga Carey. And the lease, let's see how much this lease is for. So I assume if they got the lease, that I guess the government paying for it. His lease is $2,700 per month. First month rent $2,700, and the down, the security etc. was 8,100. But apparently the lease is Jesus. And they show stuff. I guess they're trying to, I don't know what this last document is, but they're trying to show stuff that he buys: chicken, boneless breast, ground beef, ground turkey, leg, bologna, we call it, bar ass chicken hot dog, Jesus, meatball, 5 pound bag. I guess they're showing, I don't really know why they're showing this, but this is what is happening right now. They are, well, family, friends, and lovers. And so we don't have the Freedom of Information Act. We're looking forward to getting the Freedom of Information Act. And until we get that, we're going to have to assume and make assumptions and do what we have to do in this country. But I think it's shameful what's going on. And this is happening all over in this country. It's happening like crazy right now. And so friends, family, and lovers are getting these contracts to do things that, why are you paying that amount of money for someone to buy groceries for the government? You're paying him more than you're paying police officers, nurses, more than you're paying members of parliament. I mean, seriously? What do you guys think about what you just saw?
Is someone getting a kickback?
It's shameful.
Mr. Vane, it is obvious if you bring them in from the United States, you set them up here in housing, and then you give them a job that a high school student can do, without to grade 10 can do. It has to be something behind this. It has to be a little more on this. Has to be. It's like saying, okay, I need you to go to the Bahamas, and I'm going to make a little scenario. I need you to go to the Bahamas and do this, but we're going to set you up as this. And we really need to look into that. That's how I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. We did just over 2 hours tonight. This has been a very good conversation. I think that all of you are very well versed in what you were talking about. I think the Bahamian public got to see that we have a deep bench, and we're looking forward to taking this country over and ending the corruption that we've been experiencing in this nation. It's time for something different. It's time for something new. We really need change in this country, and we are going to have it. All the Bahamians got to do is ask for it and vote for it. And so, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm going to give each of you all just 1 minute to say some closing words to your constituents. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Roberts. Go ahead. One closing words, and I'll be short.
Marco City, you know we have to take this one, and we're not going to ask for it. Let's be firm and clear about that. We're going to take it. Because if we ask for it, then we will look like the lesser. We must look like the authority figure. Let them know leadership is established today. And that's not protocol, by the way. That's a fact. Marco City, please consider the truth. And the truth is the Coalition of Independence, the only group so far that has presented properly, without fear nor intimidation, realities that can happen. But I should correct that. Not realities that can happen. Realities that must happen. Concerning first with the elderly. The elderly has been left behind like many other industries. In this case, we're talking people. Has been left behind intentionally. We must rise to this occasion and bring our mothers, our fathers, and our peers, in my case, back online. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. You can't hear.
Crystal?
South Abaco. South
Go ahead, Mr.
Abaco,
Williams.
I would love to say to you all that for many years, we have tried to go on independent. However, we failed in that effort. And I want to say that giving the COI the opportunity to govern the Bahamas would make Abaco an island state, which means that our resources, and y'all know we've put a lot of money in the treasury, 33.5%, that ain't no joke. Those resources will stay right here in Abaco so that we can fix our roads. We could light up our streets. We can have better resources for education. We can make sure that sports and culture and all of the things that Abaco needs is addressed because we will actually have the funding to do it. So COI is the way to go. Thank you. Change isn't coming. Change is here.
Change is here.
Amen. Go ahead, Ms. Stubbs.
To the wonderful people that I've had the privilege of meeting in the constituency of Mount Moriah. I'm not going to say the great constituency because it ain't great till I reach. I just want to thank you all for welcoming me and my team into your homes and sharing enthusiastically your desire for change in our country. I also want to send a warning out to my two components that I know of to date. Mr. Marvin Dames, you've been fired. All right? And when you're fired, it's very difficult to be rehired because I don't know what you're going to bring that will be different from what you did the first time. And to Mr. Bonamy, you're on suspension. You've received your warning letter. All right, count your days. Your days are numbered in Mount Moriah. Mount Moriah, I'm bringing mature. I'm bringing creative. What I can offer you, none of the two of these men can do. All right. I'm a very gifted individual that will be bringing you a lot of innovative ideas to create industry within our area. And despite all of these wonderful things that the COI is going to be offering to you, Mount Moriah, we will have our own benefits within our community as well. So yes, at the end of the day, Mount Moriah, you're going to become the envy of the country when it comes to the way we're going to look and all of the plans that I wish to implement within Mount Moriah. So I look forward to seeing you all for the Easter egg hunt and the tea party for the elderly at the same time. And listen, guys, you young people, you're not left out. You're also invited to join us. And there will be times when we will be getting together, myself and the young people and my team. Mr. Bain, thank you. This has been a wonderful show. I'm grateful to be here and to be a part of this. And let me tell you, I'm proud to be COI. Change ain't coming.
Changes.
Change is here. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you all for tuning in. So the PLP and FLM is going to continue what they do best, the old weapons, which is attack each other and tell you why both of them are not qualified. And then they're going to make personal attacks against me and other leaders in our party. Don't waste time with that. Don't call and ask if it's true. If it's coming from a political troll, it's not true. All right, so don't waste time with them and their gossip and their talks, etc. It's to distract you from getting what you actually what belongs to you, and for putting Bahamian first. They want us to continue in slavery in this nation and to be last in this country while they sell us out and sell our passports, our birthright to others. And so we're going to continue to stand up and fight for you, ladies and gentlemen. We are fighting for you. We are Bahamians. We are born, bred, organic Bahamians who love this country, and we are standing up for this country, and we are showing you and presenting you a vision to transform this nation. And so take the time, go to our website, read those visions. There's a couple more coming on there in short order, fisheries and a few other things that you're going to see there. Our plan to create a tech hub and some other stuff you're going to see popping on there. This is real vision. So this isn't just a little bullet points. Take the time. Take the time and go through it. See what you like, what you don't like, and then let's go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if you're in Grand Bahama and you want to see me, you can call me. Well, send me. It's going to be hard to get me calling. I'm always on the phone. Send me a WhatsApp, and you're going to be able to I'm going to line up a time when you can probably see me at the office, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know that we're doing this for you, our one country. We don't have no other country. This is all we got. And if we don't win this election, it is over. So, again, thank you for joining us. Next week, Sunday, it's crime, immigration, and land. That's going to be powerful, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be powerful. Bringing some of our lawyers to talk to you and hear what's going on. Crime, immigration, and land. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next week.